to see you tonight. All right, you guys, I'm going to do a share screen real quick. And, oops, I don't know what happened. Pull up my slides. Oh, you know what? My slides, because the power went off a second ago. Let me go get them back up again. It's been a crazy day with weather. Okay, can somebody give me a good thumbs up? Tina, can you see my slides? Okay, awesome. All right, you guys, we are going to start from the beginning. And we're already recording. So welcome. My name's Landy Martin. I'm your host tonight. I'm co-hosting with these wonderful Detox Divas. And tonight we have the one and only Veronica Ortega. You guys, we're so excited to have her on. She is amazing. And I'm going to give her a proper introduction in just a second. But first, I want to introduce you to some of our manufacturing partners. We start here at Heart and Body Naturals with pure raw ingredients. We have a research and development team, and we have some of the most potent and strong ingredients that Alexandria Brighton, who is world renowned, sources from all over. Okay. Everything is third-party tested, organic. You don't have to worry about what you're recommending or what you're taking. Okay. So these are some of the cleanest products I've come across. Now, we're not a drug company. We don't make any kind of claims as far as medical claims. So anything that you hear on this call tonight, please consult with your own practitioner before making any major health decisions or anything like that. Okay. Now I want to introduce you to our co-founders, Ben and Paula Scarcella. For those of you guys that are new to the call and don't know Ben's story, it is absolutely incredible. Ask whoever invited you to share that story with you. And those new to HBN, if you log in and go to the HBN library, you will see this story in your back office. But Ben was suffering from a rare condition called vasculitis. That is something where you have inflammation in your blood vessels. It can hit you in the stomach, the heart, the liver. It is life-threatening, or it can be life-threatening. And they were really having a lot of difficulty. You know, they were going through what a lot of people go through with some of the Western medicine. They were in and out of outpatient, on and off different pharmaceuticals, experimenting with different things. And they basically ended up really struggling. And he was kept having, acute attacks with this. But Paula called her dear friend, Alexandria Brighton of the Brighton Institute, and she formulated what we now know as the Healing Trilogy, Mind, Body, Soul. And that is what we exclusively have here at Heart and Body Naturals. No other company carries this particular blend. And Ben was able to take this twice a day, and he has been in remission with his vasculitis. Now, I want to tell you just a little bit more about Alexandria Brighton. And guys, I see a ton of people waiting to come in. Can y'all hit admit? Alexandria is aromatherapy formulator, educator, and the owner of the Brighton Institute of Botanical Studies. Guys, she has over 30 years of experience formulating and being in the Ayurvedic world. She is internationally recognized. She's just incredible. Her formulations have been at basically the cornerstone of multiple billion-dollar companies. And we have her exclusively here. So we're super proud of her. We're so blessed to have her. And I'm so excited to introduce our guest because she trained under her. Don't forget, guys, we're doing our parasite cleanse. We are already doing this, but please ask who invited you to the call to add you to one of our groups. And you can start this cleanse anytime. We're going to be doing it for 10 days, 3 months consecutive. So be sure and ask about that. All right, guys, I'm so excited. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Veronica Ortega. She's a licensed massage therapist for over 20 years. She's been a provider in the quantum aromatherapy world for over 20 years, studied and mentored under Alexandria Brighton. She also is a massage therapy instructor, and she is a doula, a Reiki master, a feng shui practitioner, and co-taught with Alexandria Brighton at the Brighton Institute. Absolutely amazing. Owns her own holistic healing. She is a jack of all trades when it comes to being a healer. And I have met her in person. I was telling this story before the call started, and she did the whole body treatment system on me. And literally my shoulder impingement went away and has never come back. It's absolutely incredible. So without further ado, I'm going to find Veronica. There she is. All right, you're unmuted. I'm going to let you take over, love.
All right, thank you. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you for asking me to participate, because I love oil, and I can talk about oil all day long, let me tell you. So I'm going to just tell you a little bit about myself. So I am a licensed massage therapist. When I got my license in Texas, I knew that aromatherapy was going to be part of my practice. And I had asked somebody, hey, I want aromatherapy. What do you know? And they said, there's this lady in Las Cruces, New Mexico, which is about 20 minutes away from El Paso, said she's over there doing her own oil. Okay. So I drove over there, and when I walked in and I met Alexandria Brighton, I said, yeah, this is her. This is the place I want to be. So it has been a loving, incredible relationship, friendship. We are family now. It's just what it is. And I have been so grateful. I've always tell people that these oils have made me a better practitioner, because I can actually do more for a client, by adding these oils and her products. So one of the big questions is always why? Why Alexandria? She has direct relationships with people, in the industry. She has traveled the world. She has met the farmers. She's met the middle people, and she's skipping over the middle people. So she's going directly to the farms. She's going directly to the growers and the distillers and saying, I want this. So instead of going through all the middle people, she's going to the direct, to the direct grower. And that's how her relationships in the industry have been. And she is so incredibly fortunate, and she'll say she's fortunate for meeting the people that she's met. And she has been so happy with being able to bring quality product, to the company, so that way she can continue these relationships. So it has always been her, her desire to help people and to truly, truly, give the best of the best. And this is what she seeks, and this is what she looks for. She actually tracks the weather. She actually tracks the weather because she needs to know how the lemon trees out in Italy are growing right now. So that way she can, monitor whether or not that crop is going to be good enough to put in a bottle and to sell through HBN. So that's how direct she is. That's what she does. She is looking out for all of us and making sure that whatever in the bottle is true. It's very, very best. And, that's one of the reasons why I personally, I'm not ever going to leave her side because I know exactly what she is, what she's about, how important quality means to her, because the quality truly matters. Because then how are you going to help somebody? You can help somebody with a less potent oil or a less potent product. And yeah, it will help. But how long do they have to continuously use it? One of the great stories that we have is somebody who, was using a tea tree, and we said, you need to buy this tea tree. Well, I don't want to buy a $20, $30 bottle of tea tree. Why can't I just go to the store and buy a $5, $10 bottle tea tree? Go ahead. So they did. And they said it didn't work. You said that if I use the tea tree on this, that it was going to work. Well, you didn't buy our tea tree, right? So they went back and they bought a different tea tree. So by the time they got done, they spent over the amount of money that would have cost for the one bottle of tea tree that would have come through HBN. So quality does matter. When you're looking at your health, you want to do what is best for yourself. So sometimes paying an extra, $10, $15 for a bottle of oil is actually going to make a difference. So you definitely want, want to understand that Alexandria is about the quality and about the integrity of the oil, the integrity of the grower, and the integrity of the use. That's what's so important. Safety is always so powerful. It is really, you want to be cautious, and she is truly about safety and, and great education. And we're able to have that with the PIPs and being able to read and know and learn about how these oils are going to work. So let's jump into the two oils that are on the screen. So Connect, hey, everybody got to connect, right? Everybody got Connect. So Connect is a great oil. First of all, if you smell it, do you smell that lemongrass? I mean, that lemongrass is so incredible. Lemongrass is the true oil, the true essential oil, the single oil that helps with the connective tissue. So Connect is about connective tissue. If you have knee problems, then you want to use Connect, because Connect is going to help with all the ligaments and all that connective tissue. Lemongrass can be used, because this is the Detox Divas. Lemongrass can also be used a little bit as a detox, right? Because it falls into the family in the same line as lemon. And lemon is a very good detoxifier. So did you know, here's a little side note. If you diffuse lemon, it will increase the white blood cells. It will increase the power to actually fight infection. So it is a great diffuser. Not only does it clean the air, but it builds. It actually helps build your immune system. So there's a little side note. So Connect will help with any sort of ligament issue, especially I always use it in the knees. It's a really great oil on the elbows. So if anyone plays a lot of tennis, or everyone's playing pickleball now, if you've got some elbow stuff going on, then Connect is truly, truly the oil that you want to use to be able to do that. So because everybody got to Connect, now we're moving over to oregano, right? So here's the thing about oregano. There are oils that we call hot. And what we mean by that is that they will actually heat and stimulate inside your body. They do a lot of powerful work, and you have to be mindful of the way that you use it. So oregano is something really, really, really powerful. It can kill infection. It truly, truly can. Here's the one thing I'm going to recommend. Please don't drink it. Please just don't add it to water. Don't drink it. It's, here's the thing about ingestion. Ingestion is good with some oils, definitely, but it has to go through the digestive system. So it's easier to literally put oil on your skin, which is your largest organ, and get it through the bloodstream, because it's going to get there faster. So why ingest it when you can just, this is my coined phrase. And if anyone ever said it, I'm telling you, it started with me. You just slap it on, right? You just slap it on anywhere. That is the thing. So you can put oregano on the bottom of your feet. Any oil that you put on the bottom of your feet is going to travel through your entire body. It takes 4 to 5 hours for an oil to get through and get saturated inside of your body. Apply it on your skin. Here's the thing with oregano, though. You want to be mindful because it is a heavy oil. You might need to dilute it, because if you are very sensitive, you might have a little bit of a reaction, and it might just be a little bit overwhelming for your system. So when you're starting to use a new oil or introducing a new oil to your body, definitely add some carrier oil to that. I am a big proponent of jojoba. It's my favorite carrier oil, but there's grapeseed oil. Don't use an oil that has a scent, such as almond oil. It's not a good oil to have. You're not going to use baby oil, because that's a petroleum-based oil. You want to use a good oil. Jojoba never goes rancid. It doesn't have a scent, and it actually absorbs incredibly, incredibly into the skin. And it doesn't leave you oily. It doesn't stain your clothes. It doesn't stain your sheets. It's really a great carrier oil. You can also use an unscented lotion if you want to, something that's a little bit thicker. But oregano literally will help kill an infection. Should you use it every day? No. It is definitely not an oil that you want to use every single day. So when there is some sort of an infection or an illness, you want to just use, something as powerful as oregano, just maybe every other day, just to help build up and kill, to monitor the infection. But what you can do is you can also add a little bit of lavender to the oregano. So you can do equal parts, like 2 drops of lavender and 2 drops of oregano together. That way it's not, it doesn't decrease the power of the oregano, but it actually helps just, ease your way into using the oregano. So you want to be really super careful with the oregano. It is super powerful, but it is a great worker, and it works incredibly well with the body and any sort of infection. What would be an infection? besides just, something internal, a bacterial infection. So if you're sick, you could use a little bit of oregano. Let's say you don't have wellness for adults, or you don't have Tri-Remedy, you could use a little bit of oregano, and that will help boost up the immune system. Let's say you're really fighting, a throat issue or something, you could use a little bit of oregano instead of using tea tree, right? So tea tree is a great fighter as well, but you could use a little bit of oregano instead of the tea tree. But add a couple drops of lavender to it. Just, the dilution of it is just going to be really helpful. Lavender mixes well with absolutely everything. So you want to be careful to make sure that it does that. So no, essential oils don't truly expire. I just saw that question pop up, but I want to say what happens is, if your essential oils, you want to be mindful, you pay good money for these oils, they work hard for you, so you want to treat them well. You want to keep them out of the heat. They need to be in a constant temperature. You want to make sure that the caps are always closed, because that oxygen breaks down the essential oil. So someone had asked, why do we have to keep things in a blue bottle, like sprayers are in a blue bottle? You notice that our oils come in a brown bottle. You always want a colored bottle to protect it from the sunlight. That's why you want that. You want to make sure that the oils are always protected by the sunlight. You don't want to get an oil and then stick it in your car and be in Texas at 120 degrees and have that oil just cooking in the car. It doesn't work. So you're breaking down the potency of the oil. It's not going to work. Trust me. I have had a lot of people do it and it just doesn't work. So be aware of how you're treating these oils. Some people keep the oils in their kitchen for whatever reason, but there's a lot of heat that happens in the kitchen. So just be careful that you are, that you're keeping these oils in a constant temperature. You want to make sure that they're truly, being cared for, because they have a mind of their own. I mean, truly. I mean, there's a lot of great stories I have about oils that tell you that these oils just work on their own, and they do. So be careful when you use these oils. Be mindful of the oregano. Like I said, it's a great alternative to Tri-Remedy. It's a great alternative to wellness, to tea tree, to anything that, that you need to, as a fighter. You truly, can get a lot done with the oregano. So moving along, let's talk about the whole body collection real quick, if we can, because it was one of the questions that was submitted. So the whole body collection has a sequence. So if you read the papers, you understand that the whole body collection is, you start with a line and then you move all the way to clear. The reason Alexandria created the whole body collection is because she wanted a collection that identified with every single system in the body. One of the great things about Alexandria, and one of the reasons why you want to buy oil that Alexandria has formulated, is because she's so mindful and is so powerful in what the intention of what a blend is. It's not just about, these are the oils that are going to work well together. These are the oils that are scientifically, chemically, can work together and not cause harm. She does do that. But first she starts with an intention. What's the reason why she wants to build, or create and blend a specific blend? Why does she want that blend? So it always starts with an intention. It always starts with the why. And how is this going to help somebody? How is this going to help more than one person? What will this do to change people's lives? So she created the whole body collection because she wanted something that actually would identify with every system of the body. Because sometimes people are like, I don't want to buy a bottle of tea tree and a bottle of lemon and a bottle of lavender and, and have to do all this other stuff. She's made it easy for us. Every blend in the whole body collection identifies with a system. So it goes from the, muscular system, joints, skeletal system. But at the end, here's the thing, Alexandria always blends to identify with every level of our body, the physical body, the emotional body, the mental body, and the spiritual body. And it's not about what your religion is. It's not about what your belief system is. It's about having some connection to something beyond yourself. So the whole body collection starts at the physical level of a person, and it ends at clearing the emotional body, Because what happens, for those, this is a detox group, right? So when you're doing parasite cleansing, what's happening? Are you experiencing a little emotional wackadoodle? Are you experiencing, when you are releasing at that level of detoxification, your emotional body is kind of going a little crazy. Your emotional body is stepping up and saying, I'm not happy. You're thinking, I'm not happy because I'm not eating what I want to eat. I'm not happy because I'm following this parasite cleanse. I'm not happy because I'm trying to detoxify. I can't wait till the 10 days are over so I can, eat whatever I want to eat or do whatever I want to do. Here's the thing. Is it actually the release? The detoxification at a physical level will affect your emotional body. So in this collection, the clear identifies with the emotional body. The clear is soothing those emotional frenzy of emotions. The whole body collection is actually going to identify with each system of the body, right? So it's going to do everything. But then as you get to the end, you might feel like there's a little something surfacing, because you can't detoxify physically or heal physically if you don't identify with that emotional body. It's not going to happen. And this is the way Alexandria blends. Even trauma relief, something like trauma relief, is identifying with the physical body, right? Because it is a pain oil. It is about pain. But sometimes when you hurt physically, there's an emotional response that takes place. There's an emotional pain. If you're in a lot of physical pain, does not your emotional body kind of take a hit? Do people become depressed because they are in physical pain? Of course they do. So trauma is going to identify with that, because that's how Alexandria Brighton blends. She is looking at the whole person, at the actual whole person, and making sure whatever happens that you are going to be taken care of. So the whole body collection does that. Why do we have to go in a specific sequence with the whole body collection? Here's the thing. The whole body collection, the very first time I actually presented the whole body collection and it worked for somebody, there was a woman who couldn't even get up and walk, and she was able to walk. And I called Alexandra. I was in Canada teaching a class, and I said, oh my God, this collection works. I can't believe that it actually works. And she said, was it not supposed to? I go, I don't know, but it was actually unbelievable to see it at work. So you use the whole body collection, you use all 7 oils, but here's the secret. Here's the secret. You pause in between each of the application of each of the oils. You do add each oil on top of each oil, but the real true secret is wait. You apply the Align, you rub it in, because here's the thing. You want to start off asking somebody, where's your pain level? Where does it hurt? Where do you sense pain right now? And they're going to tell you. And from 1 to 10, what is it at? Where's the limitation of your physical ability? You apply the line, rub it in, wait. Because usually what we do is we have people just kind of walk back and forth, like across the room, really simple. Then they come back, and then we add the next oil, right? What is it? Osteo. So you add the next oil, you rub it in. How are you feeling? Good. Where's your pain at? Walk back and forth. Wait. Don't just slap it on one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, really rapidly. Just wait. Then you do the same thing with all the oils. It just keeps moving on until you get to the very end. At some point, there's going to be a time when somebody says, let's say it's when you get to circulate, that's close to the end. When you get to connect or flexible or something, they'll say, okay, I feel the shift. Now I went from 10 to 3. So you literally could stop adding oil. You don't need to put oil on them anymore. You could actually stop, because that's where it worked. That at that number, at that specific blend, that's what helped them the most. So you don't have to keep going. But my suggestion is always end with clear. So, You can add the oils, all of the oils, all 7 of them on one person at one treatment, which is fine, which is okay. But do you need all 7 every single day? No. Some people are going to do it because, people believe more is better. So some people are going to do that. My suggestion and the way that I run, this is the way I do it. And, I just kind of like tell people what it is. My clients are just like, this is the way it's going to work because this is what I'm telling you. So I'll do all 7, but wherever this pain stopped, that's the oil they need. So that's the oil that they could use consistently for a short period of time. So if it starts at, if the pain stopped at Connect, then let's just use Connect for the next couple of weeks and see where you're at and see what kind of shift your body takes on from there. So you use all 7 the first time. I told Alexandria, you know what? After I saw this work and after I saw how people were responding to this collection, I said, this is the greatest dog and pony show ever in my life. I mean, it is really, and that's not to devalue her work or the product. It is just the best way to show people that these oils work, because things shift in a person's body. It moves. It's different. It's unbelievable. So personally, because I have a brick and mortar, I went and I circle up people and I soaked people's feet and I talked about the whole body collection. This is what this group of oils is going to do for you. This is what this is going to, this is how it's going to shift in your body. You're not going to feel pain anymore, whatever. And I usually get people right after work because everyone, for some reason, is in pain after work, right? So then I started applying the oils. I share the oils. Everyone does the whole up and down, move around, see how you feel. And then they see it. And then they experience it. That's how I sold the whole body collection. That's how I get people hooked into the whole body collection. If you are a practitioner, this collection is going to change your life. If you have people in your downline who are practitioners, this collection is going to change their work. This is going to change their work completely. If you want to get practitioners as, in your downline, this is what you want to do. You want to sell them the whole body collection. It's really the greatest collection of oils that will truly cover the whole system, the whole body. So you want to be able to just allow each oil to do its job, but give it the space to truly get saturated in the body. Give it the time to just travel through the systems of the body, and then allow it to move through, and then identify where what oil actually stopped the discomfort, because that's what's going to make the biggest difference. So the whole body collection, it's the biggest thing ever, and let me just say that it's interchangeable with things. So if you don't have trauma relief, boy, I hope you've got that sensory, because that sensory is going to do wonders for you for pain. Sensory can stop a blood clot. Just saying. So you can, I'm not making proclamation. I'm just saying it has been my experience, and I have witnessed people who have had blood clots in their legs, and using sensory has actually slowed it down. So it makes the blood move. If you are a person who has trouble in the sciatic area all the time, if you have a sciatic nerve that always is traveling down your leg or up your back or across your butt, sensory is going to help you. Let me tell you a secret. If you have sciatica, rub sensory on your low back, right? Across your butt. So from the middle of your low back, like above your butt crack, and then across the cheeks. Then wait, right? Give it a moment to get absorbed and into the bloodstream. Then rub trauma relief on top of that. Then if that doesn't work, then maybe you need a little bit of cooling You need something to actually stimulate a little bit more. So we're trying to work the heat and cool type of temperature, like the true hydrotherapy of muscle relief. Do the sensory, then maybe put osteo on top. So that will cool it down and maybe actually help you. If that doesn't work, then try connect, because then it's going to loosen up all those ligaments and such across the low back. So you can add on top, but give it space and time before you actually do a reapplication of something. So I think what people tend to just veer towards always is that I'm just going to do more and more and more and more. So, or I'm just going to stick to this collection and nothing else, which is fantastic. It's great. But I am a huge believer in mixing things up. I am a huge believer in your body's going to get to a certain level of plateau. So you got to shift it up a little bit. You got to move it. So if you've been using trauma relief for pain, fantastic. Try the whole body collection. If you've been using the whole body collection, then go back to trauma or try lavender ice. Lavender ice is not just for headaches. Lavender ice is for everything. It has lavender and peppermint in it. So actually the lavender is the sedative, right? And then the pepper gives a little bit of stimulation because it's going to decrease the blood vessels. So from an inflammation type of place, we go from a sedative to, reduction of blood vessels. So we go to anti-inflammatory. So lavender ice is not just about headaches. Lavender ice will truly, truly, cut down pain as well. See, everything works. Alexandra had always said, she always taught about if you need one specific oil or blend for one specific reason and you don't have it, intuitively just choose something else because it's going to work just as well as what you actually truly needed. Until you actually get what you need, just try something else and it will help you. At least it will get you through until you get what you actually truly need. So feel and know that everything is a little bit interchangeable, but sometimes we have to have the direct blend and the direct oil or single oil that we truly need in order to get what we need done. So that's the biggest part of it. That is truly the biggest part of every reason. So pain is like a big deal. So we have the pain lotion, right? So in the pain lotion, there is trauma relief. But if you need just a little something else, what you could do is you could put a few drops of one of the whole body collection into the pain lotion. If you want to stick it in your jar, you can do that. So if someone has a knee problem and you're using the pain lotion, maybe you add drops of Connect in there, mix it up, and then you can rub it on your knees, because then you can get anti-inflammatory, you can get pain relief from the lotion, and then you get that help for the connective tissue. So you don't be afraid to use every product that we have in combination of everything together. So you can actually go in and add a little bit of oil. So if you don't want to add it to the jar, then what you could do is just get a little bit of scoop, put a few drops in, like the palm of your hand, because I am well known for doing that, and then rub it into where you need to rub it in. So for instance, if you feel that you need some sensory on your low back and you want to use the pain lotion, get a little scoop of the pain lotion, put it in the palm of your hand, add some drops of sensory, and then rub it on. So it works just as well. The same thing with the sleep lotion. So lavender ice helps me sleep, so it just does. So why not, can I not add lavender ice to the sleep lotion as well? Or I don't know if you knew this or not, but sweet marjoram is the #1 sedative oil out there. It's the one herb, the one bush that actually will help. It is the #1 sedative. So you can add some sweet marjoram into the sleep lotion and then help you sleep. It is one of the greatest things that you can use for yourself. It will help with nerve pain. It will help with any kind of pain, but it is a sedative. That's exactly what it is. So I combine lavender ice and sweet marjoram together, and that's what puts me to sleep. because the peppermint helps me breathe, right? So if you are congested in any way, you can use lavender ice with some Raven Sarah. Because Raven Sarah opens up the lungs. The Raven Sarah is about the lungs. Raven Sarah is a great skin oil also. I'm just kind of jumping around. I'm sorry, because this is just what I do. So Raven Sarah will help with the lungs. Raven Sarah with lavender together will repair skin tissue. It will rebuild skin tissue. So you want to be able to interact, just start trying it out. Don't be afraid to try some stuff out and really, really, put stuff together and see what's working for you. Let's talk about diffusing, because it came up. Diffusing in your home always works. People always say, when they walk into my office, if you don't like essential oils, you're not walking in my office. But people who come into my office and say, God, it smells so great. Yeah, I know. And they'll usually say, I usually don't like oils. Really? So every person that gets on my table gets oil. That's just the way it is, because that's who I am. I'm a quantum aromatherapist. I took a 2-year class with Alexandria called the quantum, oh my God, now I forgot it. The quantum alchemy of whatever aromatherapy or whatever. It was a medicinal aromatherapy class. It took us 2 years to go through it. We ended up with only me and one other person finishing the course, because that's Alexandra's a tough cookie, man. She wants to make sure you know your stuff. So I tell people, everyone needs oil, whether you think you do or you don't, you just need oil. So when you diffuse oil, you're diffusing for a specific purpose. So in my business, I fluctuate with Prosper, because if the phone stops ringing, I'm going to diffuse some oil. I'm diffusing Prosper, and let me tell you, it is coming. The phone rings, money shows up where it's not supposed to show up, and there it is. So when you're diffusing at home, you want to be mindful, especially if you have pets. Dogs are okay. Cats are not okay. Cat's liver cannot dilute or process essential oils. So it makes you sad, right? Because you're like, oh, I have cats. I can't diffuse oil. You can use misters. You can create some misters, and that will help. Or you can put your cat in a room where there's no oil and diffuse oil while they're separated. So you could separate the cat from where the diffuser is. Or you can test the theory out, because I know people who have cats and they have no problem. Their cats are fine. Their cats have been healthy. They're well. I have clients who tell me, my cats can't stop licking me when I come back from your office. So you don't know, but you just want to be careful. You want to be mindful of your pets. They're your family, and just test it out with the cats and see what it is that they can do. If they can't handle it, you notice it, then they just can't do it. You just, use a mister, buy some mister bottles, add some distilled water, add some drops of oil to it, and just mist, and then it'll be okay. The cats may not come around that area, just so you know, because, they're not adhering to the oil, into the blends. So be mindful of it. Be careful. If you're just starting, if you're new to essential oils, if you're completely new and you're just like, I don't know where to go, what to do, or where to start with a collection. Start with one oil. It doesn't matter what it is. Start with a blend. Something as easy as lavender ice will help you. Lavender ice can do a whole lot more than you think. So just using lavender ice would work. If you're someone who's just starting and you're saying, well, I have physical muscular pain and such, then buy trauma relief and try it out and see what happens. You can't go wrong with just buying one. You just can't go wrong with buying one. I remember when I started with Alexandria and I saw these hundreds and hundreds of bottles and these dozens and dozens of collections that she had created. And I thought, how do I get all of these oils? When will I get all of these oils? And I forget where I'm at right now because I have people who walk in and go, God, you have a lot of oil. I'm like, do I? I don't know. I use them so regularly that I don't know any different. The oils are in my house. They're in my business. I don't travel without oil. I'm currently in Oklahoma, going to a massage school, massage class, and I have oil. So people always say, why is your oil better? So I don't leave the house without putting on oil. And I put oil on my feet before I get into an airport. And I usually put a drop of oil on the top of my head. And I can honestly say that I am stopped every single time through TSA. The frequency of our oil is so strong that TSA has to stop me every single time because they think that something is on me. They think I have touched something that has created a bomb. We were traveling to Idaho, where Alexandria lives, for a mentorship program that she created. And 3 of us were traveling together, and we stopped. One lady was very ill. And for some reason, the only oil we had amongst each other for some reason was frankincense. So we just slapped it all over her. She had she smelled like someone had just burned the frankincense incense all over her. She got taken into the room from the TSA. Not only did they want to swipe her hands, they wanted to see what was on her. Like, what did she have on her person? What was in her suitcase? Because it was all over her suitcase. So the oils that Alexandria sources, it's not just about the farmers and where they're grown and how the weather is, developing the lemon trees, the orange trees and such, but it's the frequency, the vibrational frequency of these oils that matter to her the most. Because she'll get an oil from Italy and say, this is the best lemon oil ever. And she'll say, well, I'll be the judge of that, because not only does it have to meet her criteria, part of her criteria is, what's the vibrational frequency of this oil? How is it going to increase the vibrational frequency of all the people that I'm buying this oil for? Because when you use these oils, your vibrational frequency within your body is going to move up. Health, when you are in good health, your vibrational frequency is moving up, right? When you are not in good health, when you are in a lot of pain, where's depression come from? It's because your vibrational frequency is so low. You need to do something to bring it back up. These oils have that specific intention. So when she's looking and sourcing for these oils and she's getting a sample of the oil, it doesn't just have to meet the chemistry, right, criteria that she wants. It has to meet the vibrational frequency. She has to know that this oil is going to increase and do something good in somebody's life. So that's where it is. So where do you start? Anywhere. You start anywhere. If you have a specific ailment, a specific intention of why you need an oil, then that's what you do. If you're just starting, there's a specific, lavender, tea tree, and peppermint. Those are the 3. People always start there. People always start with lavender, tea tree, and peppermint. And you can start there. If you want to start with the blend, start with trauma relief. It will truly, truly, make a huge difference. People want to know about ingestion. And I'm going to tell you honestly that, we're not huge proponents of ingestion. And when I say we, I mean me and Alexandria, because it is something that she has ingrained in me, is you don't grab a bottle and just drop it in your mouth all the time. You can add some, I know that people are ingesting HEPA detox and people are ingesting the lemon. And I understand, and you can ingest the tea tree. We do what we call a tea tree lick, which is a drop of tea tree on your pinky and you stick it in your mouth and swish it around. Listen, why would you, it's gross. It doesn't taste good. Why would you do it? I just rub tea tree on my throat if I have a sore throat. If you have a cough, rub tea tree on your throat. You're going to stop coughing. I have been known to, because I don't like the sound of a cough. It just, I won't do a cough. I literally created my own blend called Gotta Cough because I want you to stop coughing because this is gross. I have been known to walk up to people and say, could I have your hand, and drop tea tree on their hand and say, rub it on your throat. I used to share an office with an acupuncturist, and I would hear her clients coughing, and I would just walk on over and just stop dropping tea tree in their hands and tell them, rub it on your throat. Why? Because it's going to stop you from coughing, because I don't want you coughing in here. And sure enough, by the time they walked down the hall, they were just like, okay, I stopped coughing. Yeah. And the acupuncturist didn't even touch you yet. That's fantastic, right? So it works. It just works. It's just really incredible. So ingestion, is it important? To some degree, ingestion is important. Do you have to ingest? No. Like I said in the beginning, the skin's our largest organ. It penetrates through the skin, it gets into the blood vessels, it's traveling through the blood. If you want to ingest lemon in your water, fantastic, go ahead. And, if you want to ingest HEPA detox, I don't know why, because it's disgusting. Just rub it on your liver or rub it on the bottom of your feet. Here's the thing, over a period of time, and I just want you to know that I have been a witness to what happens when you ingest too much oil. I have seen people's esophagus detach from their stomach. I have met people who have ingested so much oil that they can't move from the waist down. So, and also it wasn't coming from Alexandria's oils. Let me just say that. Here's the thing. The more you ingest oil, at some point, the liver will start to slow down. So rub it on, slap it on your skin. If you're going to ingest oil, go ahead. Your liver's not going to stop working tomorrow. If you've been ingesting oil every week, every day, it's not going to happen that way. It's not going to. You just need to be mindful. Don't do more than 2 or 3 drops. Be really mindful of how much ingestion you are taking on, because you really, really want to be careful. You don't want to take on too much ingestion. Just try putting it on your skin. Try rubbing it in with some carrier oil. Try rubbing it in with some unscented, good organic lotion. Try rubbing it on. See if it works for you. If you get the same result, see if it happens. But just be careful. Just really be careful about the amount of ingestion that you're taking on. You're here because you want to be healthy and you want to be better. So let's do it correctly. So that way we can actually get to the place of better and healthier. So try just rubbing it on. Try not ingesting so much and see how it will shift in your body and see what can actually take place. It will, trust me, I'm like a 20 plus year testament that putting oil on your skin actually truly works. It truly works. And healing can truly happen with these essential oils. And the healing that takes place, the stories that I've heard over these last 20 years of what oils have done for people, not just for their physical health, but for their emotional health. And, for beyond that. We talk about Prosper and people are, it can be a quick fun little joke of like, oh yeah, people have won the lotto with Prosper. I mean, it's not, I don't know if it's the mega millions, but people have gone to the casino and won with Prosper. People have, I know someone who used Prosper with a specific intention of, I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to buy a house. Bought one lotto ticket and got enough money for a down payment of a house. That's how it works. That's, and how does that shift internally about yourself and your self-worth? That's what matters. So look at it this way, look at it at not only is your health in your body going to increase in vibrational frequency because you're going to have better health, but once you're there, your mindset changes. Your mindset changes about who you are and how you're walking in your life. That's what's truly important. How are you going to help somebody else if you're not helping yourself? So being able to do that is going to change everything. And these oils, they change everything. And they change everything in your life because of Alexandria Brighton. She is, you know, I'm her number one groupie, and I am always so heartfelt to share her story and to make sure that this legacy continues on, because she's unbelievable and her heart is huge. She wants to help a lot of people, and she wants to do it correctly, and she wants to do it mindfully. That's the difference between Alexandria Brighton and anybody else. Her mindfulness and her integrity. That's what's going to shift. So know that about her. Know why. That's why. And, you know, I didn't know what MLMs were when I met Alexandria. I didn't know. I just wanted oil. I just wanted to use good essential oils and product in my treatment room. I didn't know anything else. But people ask me, you know, why are you with HBN? And I'll honestly say I'm in HBN because I'm with Alexandria Brighton. And I'm with HBN because Alexandria Brighton found Paula Scarcella. So to know that this is a woman-owned, I mean, listen, Ben's great, but he is really, you know, he's the employee. You know, this is Paula's show. And I'm proud to know that this is a woman-owned company, even though Ben's name's on there, you know. But I think knowing that it's Alexandria and Paula, it really it solidifies, especially understanding where Paula was coming from and meeting her and knowing what her intention was. Because here's the thing, nobody better do Alexandria wrong. And she's not going to do that for her. So we're really, you know, I'm grateful that Paula understands the importance of integrity of, you know, the product and the formulation of, you know, that comes from Alexandria. So I don't know, am I going over? I could talk forever. So, you know, Landy, tell me, is there something else you want me to talk about? Because I can talk about anything.
You are doing amazing. And thank you so much. You've answered a ton of the questions that I had come in. If anybody has a specific question that wasn't answered, I know I saw a bunch of stuff in the chat, but if you would just raise your hand and maybe we could just unmute and let Veronica answer a few questions real quick. And we can
Landy,
talk all night. Just so you know, we could listen to you all night.
Landy, I had a quick question about Slimmer oil. Can you suggest a good place to use the Slimmer oil topically for those that don't want to invest?
Okay, so usually it's the stomach, right? Where do you want to get Slimmer? You want to get it in the stomach and usually the thighs. So Alexandria created Slimmer with the intention of it being almost like a spa treatment initially, like an at-home spa treatment. So she, a long time ago, had created this whole collection. She created scrubs and all this kind of stuff, but they were specific to actually cellulite and tightening and to losing weight. So add the cellulite to where you want to, you know, lose the weight, where you think that your trouble areas are. Initially, what has happened in the past is that people would rub it on their belly or their legs, right? And then they'd go exercise. Creating the heat opens up the pores, gets that oil deeper and in there. Sometimes it's a little stimulating, just so you know. And then it really gets into the body, and then it starts doing the work. Other suggestions have been put on the Slimmer, wrap it up in saran wrap, right? Create the heat, cover yourself with a heavy wool blanket, create some heat, get the stimulation going, open up the pores and get the oil in there. So if you don't drink it, put it on your body, put it exactly where you want to be slimmer. That's
awesome.
Truly.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I have somebody here. Here's a quick little TDD. I have somebody who wanted to lose this stuff, right? So they're like, look, I felt sad. Oh, look at mine. That's not good. So anyways, there was someone who was like, how do I, you know, tighten up a little bit in here? we started using L-Stimulate up and down the neck to help move the lymph, right? Because that's what L-Stimulate's for. L-Stimulate's about moving the lymphatic system and moving it. So it was moving the lymph, but then it started to tighten up the neck a little bit. Double bonus, right? Double bonus. That's what that is. I mean, there was one intention, but we got something else coming from it. And that's what you want.
Love it. And I have to add to that because I'm telling you, I use tone on my neck, y'all.
Mhm.
And it has, I don't know what's in it that's helping my, like, it's helping firm and tone and it's getting rid of the double chin. But, you know, it's for cellulite. I put it on my neck. So, I mean, it's so
Some
true.
oil to it. Add some oil to it. Add, you know, add the L-Stimulate, you know, it will firm it up. Or you could add, even the Connect would be good because it's all that connective tissue. So add a drop of oil or even the lavender, add it to, you know, add it to it because it will actually truly help. So when I was 5, I got bit by a dog like this. So I had to have my eyelids sewn back on, underneath my eye, underneath my chin. So I started using essential oils because my scars were still pretty prominent. You know, it was 20 some years ago. So Alexandria said, you should use lavender because lavender repairs the skin. I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I started doing it. I started adding a drop of lavender to my face moisturizer. I don't have that much of a scar underneath my eye anymore. I have a little bit of an indentation underneath my chin, but the actual scar is not, it's not puffy anymore. It's smooth. So the scar tissue is completely shifted by using the lavender.
And you look amazing. Like you look so young and your skin is perfect. It's crazy. Okay, so I'm going to unmute Megan. She was next. There's like, how much time do you have? We have a couple of more questions.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Listen, girl, I'm telling you, I could sit here all night. I have no problem.
Awesome. Okay, Megan Davey.
Thank you. I just love your wisdom, Veronica. Thank you so much. Couple quick questions. One, is there a best type of diffuser to use? I've seen lots of different styles and cold versus hot. The second question is, could you tell us one of those stories you mentioned about how an oil might have a mind of its own?
Okay, so let's talk about the diffuser first. The diffuser, so there's a water diffuser, right? So that's always great. It's the safest diffuser. So the way Alexandria teaches about diffusing is, what do you want to use a diffuser, right? Okay, so we're always talking about intention. So what's the diffuser for? If you're just diffusing just to diffuse in the air or whatever, use the water diffuser. Use a cooler mist. Don't use a hot water diffuser. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do heat. So like, you know, if you, those people, the ones that have like the little tea lights, what happens is it creates so much heat, the oil pops out sometimes. So you have to add a little bit of water. So if you're going to really do it, then just buy, and everybody has diffusers nowadays, buy a water diffuser. And, you know, it's a cool mist and it will cover a room. It truly can. There's nebulizers, you know, that are actually no water, straight oil, a glass, you know, it's a glass container where it comes out of. That outputs a stronger level of essential oil. That outputs really, like, it's outputting just straight oil, and it outputs a stronger, I just lost the word. Well, it just outputs more. So Alexandria, usually what she'll say is, if you're ill, you want to sit by nebulizing, you know, diffuser, because you want that direct, you want that strength, you know, you want that level of strength of the oil hitting at you all day long. But I use both. I use a nebulizer and I use a water diffuser. And I like the nebulizer. I mean, it costs more money. It does, but if you take good care of it, here's the thing about diffusers: clean them. Please clean them. If you, when you're in between oils, pour a little bit of rubbing alcohol in there, swipe it clean. You can add a little bit of like Dawn, you know, warm water, wish it out, clean the top also. Don't just clean the vessel where the water and the oil is. Clean what comes out, because there's residue in there. So clean it all up. What I do then is I turn it on so that way air can blow through it, just to move it all through, and then add your oil. Don't just keep adding different oil and water into the same diffuser without cleaning it. One, you want your diffuser to last a long time. I've had a nebulizer and 2 water diffusers for 15 years. So they will last. I will pay good money for a diffuser if it's going to last, and I will take care of them. My nebulizer, I pour the rubbing alcohol into the glass vessel, swoosh it around, and I use cigar or pipe, like the smoking pipe, little pipe cleaners, because they're soft bristle. They're not like a regular pipe cleaner where the bristles are hard. I use a soft bristle, and I go in, I'm like a real fanatic, people trust me. And then I clean it up, swish it around, do a little bit of Dawn, do the same thing. I soak it and I blow it out, so take care of your diffusers. Don't just keep adding oil and water and do whatever. Take care of them, because people will say, my diffuser breaks. I'm like, what are you doing? And the first time I one of the very first classes I taught, and I talked about cleaning your diffuser, I think every single person that was in there was like, you're supposed to clean it? You want to clean it. So, a story about oils wanting to. So here's the thing. When Alexandria was in New Mexico and I would go visit her, I actually would travel and sit in her office, clean the bathrooms, do whatever, vacuum, sweep, mop, just so I could be in the space with her, and just so I could overhear her and just learn from her. I was thinking osmosis was going to work. It was just going to beam into me, right? All of her intelligence was just going to suck into my brain. She had several different collections, and usually when she would blend, she'd have all her oils out and she would say, okay, who wants to work today? She's literally, it's like Dr. Dolittle. She was not talking to the animals. She's talking to the oils, and she's saying, who wants to work? And oils, she would leave for the night and come in the next day, and bottles would be off the shelf. Bottles would move around. You think that's not true. It is true, because I saw it. It's really the level of potency in these little bottles are so strong. They truly do have intelligence. When you look at a plant and you're thinking like, why is body, mind, and soul work? It's not just about the plant material that's in it. It's like she's talking, it's an Ayurvedic base recipe, but she's talking to the plants and the herbs going, which is really, truly going to work. So she did the same thing with the oils. Who is really going to work? I need to make a blend for this. What oil is really going to work? Because she chooses such quality oil, she's making sure that vibrational frequency, energetically, these oils are going to do more than just do a job, and that they're going to blend well together. She makes sure that they play together, but they're like kids. When you're interacting with different people, you want to make sure when you're bringing people together, a specific group of people together, you want to make sure everybody kind of gets along. This is how she worked with the oils. I know it could be very woo-woo for some people, but the magic of how she blends, like, I'm just going to tell you, like Moon, she developed Moon under a full moon. She developed Moon for the woman, for that feminine energy. Moon doesn't just help you if you have difficult periods, if your reproductive organs are a little hinky. It doesn't help just with that. If you need to touch into that feminine energy, even for a man, even if you just need to tap into that feminine energy, Moon's going to do that for you, because she created that blend under the moon. If you have edema, right? Because the water, the ocean, is reflective of the moon. If you have edema, you could use Moon instead of cypress, and it will actually take down swelling. It will move the water in your body. If your kidneys are a little shot and you need a little help, Moon can help you, because it's reflective of the moon, and the moon reflects with the water. So
We
that's
need to
just-
we don't have Moon. Get Moon here for us.
oh, we don't.
We have Cypress. We do have Cypress.
Okay, Cypress will work. Moon, I'm sorry. Moon, oh my
you
God,
put
I'm
the
so
cat on the
sorry.
bag on that one.
Dude.
It
I'll
sounds
talk to
amazing.
Paula tomorrow. I'll talk to Paula tomorrow.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No, I'm glad because I was like, oh my God, you know, sometimes I forget what's there or not there. I know a lot more oils than are there. And I have to remember, I have to stay in lane. So sorry. I will be accountable to Paula for that. So sorry about that.
that would be amazing. No. Okay. So are you ready for another question?
Sure.
Okay. I have Yolanda here. Let me unmute her. Go ahead, Yolanda.
I'm muted. Oh, there I go. Actually, I didn't have a question. I had a little thing to say. Lola, give mommy her juice. I'm sorry, my dog tried to drink my juice. We have a book in the back office, and it tells us Veronica was saying, I want to make sure I say your name right. Veronica was saying how she likes to blend different oils together. If you go in the back office and look up the still room, it shows you a bunch of different ways to mix your oils and how to make air fresheners and how to make, just everything. It is wonderful. And it also tells you this is very important. What I really like about the book, it tells you about the safety groups of your oils. So you know who to tell them to and how to use them. So that's
great.
all I really had to say.
Thank you for reminding me that it's there. I take for granted that book because Alexandria wrote that book twice. And she created that book because her belief was healing started in the kitchen. I mean, she learned about oils and herbs in the kitchen, across her kitchen table. So she was a true believer that the power of healing happened in the kitchen, in a still room, the kitchen was not just the place where you created meals. It was the place where you helped people. It was a place where people gathered and you created something to actually help another person. So thank you for that reminder. Yeah, the still room has incredible amount of information, a lot of basic information. So if you're just starting with the oils, that is a great download to have. So that way you can actually get a little bit more detailed information than what I'm giving you right here tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I think we have Grace Santos on here. She had a question. Let me unmute her real quick. All right, go ahead, Grace.
Hi, yeah, you said you can talk all night. I could listen all night. This is super great. Thanks for being here. But yeah, and my question follows the kitchen thing. How about baking or cooking with the oils like oregano and spaghetti sauce or some of the sweet citrus ones for baking and such? Is that a good thing or not? I mean, not even like, sorry, go ahead.
You want to just be really mindful of it. So the way that you want to do it, because oils are a heavy concentrate, right? So you want to be real mindful. What we suggest is using a toothpick and do just a little bit of a swab and, or do just one little drop on top of the toothpick and add it first. And then slowly just add more and more, or do like, if you can, just get one little drop. And then like, if you're using the oregano, do just one little drop and then try it and see if that works. So you just need to remember that if you're going to use these oils to cook with, these are heavy concentrate. Even Alexandria has made this mistake. She made a cake and she wanted it to have rose frosting. So without knowing, she put in too much rose into the frosting. It didn't taste good. I mean, it doesn't, it's too much. So be just really careful if you're going to cook with oils. And just start, like, I'm seriously telling you, like, sometimes we just did a toothpick and then just stuck it into something, or we did a minute, half of a drop. So if you have a dropper, if you use one of the old droppers from like the zinc or the silver, use those droppers and just do a little bit of a drop into, whatever you're cooking, and then see how it tastes. But just be careful because they are heavy concentrate.
That's really good advice. Do you have time for Tina? Did you get your question answered? I saw you had a question in the chat.
Oh, I didn't have a question. I was clapping. You can do reactions, and I was clapping and doing
Oh.
hearts.
Okay, awesome. Do you have time for, I think, Megan, did you get your question answered? Or do you have another one?
I have another quick question.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I've heard a rumor that if someone has an aversion to a certain oil scent, for example, if someone says they can't stand patchouli, is that an indication that they actually, in fact, need patchouli in their life for some reason, spiritually, energetically, etc.?
No.
Okay, cool.
So
What
that's a myth.
happens is when someone okay, because I feel like I should explain besides just saying no, because it's wrong. Here's the thing. When someone says, I don't like that smell, they don't like the smell because their body isn't ready for it. So if someone is, and I'm just going to use patchouli because you're the one that brought it up. So if you bring out patchouli, and let me just tell you, patchouli is great because it will take the poison from a snake bite out of your body. Let me just tell you that. So if you're using patchouli, and it's good for your skin, if you're using patchouli and someone says, I can't stand the smell of patchouli, or it makes me sick or whatever, then their body's not ready for it. You have to work to what else could you use? So let's say you're using patchouli for a scar on somebody's face, and they'll say, I can't stand the smell of patchouli. It really hurt, it makes me ill. Then use lavender. Oh, I don't really like lavender. Okay, so what else is next? So there are other oils that are going to work. What's so great about essential oils is that they all have, if they're in the same family, they all work together. They all work similarly, but they're not just, one thing, they kind of work together, but then they've got different chemistry. So it's going to smell different. So just because somebody says, I don't like it, and someone says, oh, then that means you really need it. No, it means that you need to use something else. Why are you going to use something that you don't adhere to?
Great answer. Okay, so I have Angela here who has a question, and then we have Irma. So maybe we'll do those two, and then maybe we'll see. We might be here all night. Okay, go ahead, Angela.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I have been diagnosed with low thyroid issues. My thyroids do not function as they should, and the doctor was trying to increase my medication. And I was wondering, are there any oils or oil blends that would help me with that? Hello?
I hear you. I have to take a minute to think. Hold on. Let me think. The thyroid's a little tricky. So here's the thing. Here's the blanketed information, just the precursor for everything is that you don't ever stop your medical attention, medical pharmaceutical that you need to survive. You don't ever stop that and switch it out for oil or anything else. Your pharmaceuticals may decrease over time. I use a specific blend that I create for blood pressure, and it shifts people's blood pressure, and it shifts their, the pharmaceuticals that they have to take. You don't ever stop taking that. So let me just put that out there. You don't take one thing out and add oil or whatever, and you need to keep using you need to use your medication if you have to. So one of the things about the thyroid is that it really works with a lot of different systems of the body. So it works with the cardiovascular system. It works with the lymph system. It really does. It's connected to a lot of things. It's not just the thyroid. So one thing that I would suggest is definitely use ingest body to help you at that level of the cardiovascular system. Maybe you need to use some circulate, across, over the thyroid. And here's the thing, the thyroid's just not in the front of your neck, it's in the back as well. So also L-stimulate, because L-stimulate is a great detoxifier. So maybe you want to add some L-stimulate to the back of your neck for the thyroid, but definitely try out one or the, one thing at a time and see how it works, and maybe if it adjusts your thyroid levels, and see what happens that way. But I would probably start with body for sure, to know what what's going on, and then see if anything adjusts, and then shift it to something else, and then see if that kind of helps, so start with body, maybe add an oil, apply the oil maybe a couple times a day and see how that, maybe try L-stimulate during the day and maybe circulate at night, something of that nature.
Hey, I want to ask you about rose geranium because it actually helped me with that. And I was just curious how you feel about that, because some people say that rose geranium can, I think it's something about if you're estrogen dominant, because does it affect your estrogen, or it can raise your estrogen or
It does. So rose geranium's like a phytoestrogen. It's a phyto, it definitely has hormone-like properties to it. So you could use rose geranium, but rose geranium is also a good water oil. It's a good kidney oil. So it's a good hormonal oil. It's also, we have clary sage, right? Yeah. So if you've got bad PMS and you have really bad cramps, you could use clary sage and rose geranium together, and that will help with the cramps, and that will help balance out the hormones if you're menstruating and having that challenge. If you are having hot flashes a lot, the rose geranium takes care of that. If you've got the thyroid stuff, the reason it worked for the thyroid is because it's circulatory. So it's actually pushing the circulation and moving the circulation. And because the thyroid also is part of a hormone thing, it's also has hormone-like properties to it. So it probably helped to balance it out that way. So that could be part of the reason why it probably worked for you.
Awesome. Okay. Irma, go ahead, girl.
Hi, everyone. I was wondering if you could tell me if there is a particular protocol that would be recommended for someone that has Lyme and other autoimmune conditions layered one upon the other. So if there's a protocol that works better without triggering a Herxheimer reaction, that would be great, because I have found in the past that the fulvic acid, even at 1/32 of a teaspoon for months on end, was just far too much for my system.
So you have Lyme disease, is that what it is?
Yes, and then there's mold toxicity, which opens the door for yeast and everything else. So, and I've had Epstein-Barr, mono, and I'm one of those weird people where it keeps coming back up and reoccurring when I'm stressed. And with all these things layered together, I'm in a constant state of stress in my body.
So if your nervous system is shot, then your fight or flight is always on, right?
Yes,
Is that,
yes.
that's
I have adrenal
where it's at. So I would start with trying to deal with the nervous system, because if the nervous system triggers the immune system, to get all hinky, then that's part of the problem. Alexandria does have a Lyme disease protocol, but I would suggest start using you could start using Tri-Remedy and see if that starts to help you a little bit, but not using it every single day. You can use it like all day, like for 2 or 3 days straight, and then spread it out every couple of days and see if that helps you with the Lyme disease. But I think if your nervous system triggers that, then you need to actually work on the nervous system. So I would use Calm. I would try to I think Calm or sweet marjoram, because obviously sweet marjoram is a sedative, so you could use that. And sweet marjoram is good. The Ravenstar, if you were to combine the Ravenstar with the sweet marjoram, it will hit the nervous system and the respiratory system, so that way it could help clear up the lungs. If you have mold issue, especially out, in your surroundings, in your atmosphere, in your personal environment, then I would be diffusing oil like crazy. So if you diffuse Protector, if you diffused Eucalyptus globulus and lemon together, that will kill it off. We had a really bad rainstorm flood several years ago, and my friend's house, the water came in and mold was starting to grow up her walls. So what we did is we literally diffused oil and we mixed vinegar with essential oils, and we washed the walls, and it killed the mold. And the insurance adjuster came in and said, well, what happened to your mold? So we got rid of it. So essential oils can actually help kill off the mold. So if you have mold in your environment, then you need to be diffusing oil.
Well, I do diffuse a detoxification oil from another line, and it's organic, and it's got the grapefruit and the other citrus in there. The mold is more in me, the mold toxicity from a hurricane a few years ago. And when I lost my place, and then when I found a place to live, I didn't realize that so many of my leather purses and things had mold spores on them. And so that was transported to my new environment.
So what you want then definitely, so the oils to diffuse to help kill the mold, either a protector, eucalyptus globulus, and lemon together. So equal parts, equal amounts. And you could spray it on your walls. If you personally have already, it's in your lungs already, then I would be using Ravensara all day long. You want to use eucalyptus globulus. Here's the thing. Here's what's different between eucalyptus globulus and eucalyptus radiata. Globulus is a great detoxifier, but it deals with the bottom part of the lungs. Eucalyptus radiata deals with the upper part of the lungs. So when people say, I have an upper respiratory problem, then you want to use eucalyptus radiata because it's dealing with the upper part of the lungs. If those people who have really deep coughs and it's like deep down at the bottom of their lungs, then you want to use eucalyptus, globulus. But if you combine those with Ravensara, then you can actually rub it on to your lung area and really start to help you to rebuild. So it's not going to just detoxify, but it's going to rebuild, and then if you add some lavender, it's going to repair the skin tissue of the lungs as well. So the Ravensara and the lavender together, if you weren't to use the eucalyptus, if you use lavender and Ravensara together, that's going to repair your lung tissue. And I know someone who was a bad smoker who we actually started doing that, we set up a specific protocol to help clear the lungs and repair the lung tissue. And, that person's still alive, not smoking, alive, not on a mask, not on oxygen, but still alive.
Amazing.
That's
Really, truly life-saving information, you guys. I did have one more question in the chat about which oil you recommend is best for children that are having asthma. Do you have a preference?
Ravensara and eucalyptus radiata. Eucalyptus radiata is so safe for kids that if they have a fever, you want to use eucalyptus radiata. So here's Alexandria's little thing about a fever for children. You get a mason jar, because everybody has mason jars now. You put water in there, you add drops of eucalyptus radiata, you stick a washcloth in there, shake it up, and then you wring it out and you put the washcloth on your child's head or back of the neck, and that will naturally just drop the temperature. And it will help for anybody of any age, but it's specific. Eucalyptus radiata is specific for children. So the same thing goes with the Ravensara. Ravensara is a great lung oil. So if you have a child who has asthma, you need to calm whatever is like creating the asthmatic attack. If they're just constantly on an inhaler of some sort, apply some oil just to see if you can calm it down a little bit and help them have deeper breath. So part of the thing is that you want to be able to have the expansion in your lungs to really have deep breath and just really keep moving the lungs. So you want to build it up to be well. Make sure that there's not a lot of, there's a lot of fluid in the lungs. You want to be mindful of that. So maybe a little bit of tea tree would help, because tea tree is drying. So tea tree works, but it's very drying. So, you know, when people have acne, they put a drop of tea tree on their acne and it's going to dry it up. But, you know, if you are too dry already, you don't want to use the tea tree. You want to make sure that you find that balance in between.
Wow, I'm just blown away. You're getting so much love in the chat. We've been here an hour and a half, you guys, with still over 54 people on the call. So absolutely incredible. I think all of our questions are answered. I believe so. So I just want to say thank you so much. You've been amazing. And we're just so blessed and grateful. You're getting love, 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 love in the chat. And Megan had another quick question. How long to wait for diffusing for cat to enter room? Oh, okay, because she has a cat. Maybe answer that real quick and then we'll
If you
wrap up.
separate the cat, you know, and you diffuse for like 10 minutes, wait at least, you know, at least 5, wait at least 5. Open the door and see if the cat comes out and then see how it works, see how the cat does. So it's just, you know, every one of us is different. We're all individuals and so are our pets. So some pets, it's gonna just kind of work and some pets are gonna be, nope, it's not gonna work. So just be mindful of how it works for your pet. And then, you know, you'll know for sure, you'll know for sure. But thank you from the bottom of my heart for asking me to come on. I can talk a lot about oil. So I appreciate the invite and appreciate meeting you all. So thank you so much.
We have enjoyed it immensely. Yolanda's flagging. We got to get off. We got to get off. Okay, hurry.
I have real bad anxiety and they have me on Xanax 1 milligram for it. But I was wanting to know before I go back to my doctor, is there maybe an oil that I can use that'll help assist with the medicine that I'm on so she doesn't have to raise the medicine?
You can try lavender by itself. You can try calm. You can add a couple of drops of lavender to the calm. And then maybe add some sweet marjoram to it. Also, if you look at that next level of your, of your life, from the physical to the emotional to the mental to the spiritual, is it what's creating the anxiety? And then find that intention and then go from there. So if you have anxiety, and I see everyone saying bergamot. So here's the thing about bergamot. Bergamot is great. It's an antidepressive, but she's talking about anxiety, not about depression. So you have to be clear about what you need to use oils for. So bergamot is an antidepressive, and you can definitely you could try bergamot. You can try, orange by, the sweet orange, that will help. See what's going to resonate with you to keep you at where you need to be at, and then go from there. Try it out. You could try a citrus. Any citruses are truly going to help uplift you, but see what it is that's triggering the anxiety. Okay.
Amazing. And Tina, thank you very much for reaching out to Veronica and asking her to be on tonight. And thank you, Veronica, once again. Oh my gosh, this was the best call, I think, ever. The most epic call we've ever done here with the Detox Divas. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. All right, you guys, we will be back here again next week. I'm looking forward to that. See you here, same time, same place. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good evening. Bye. I love you guys.
Bye.
Peace out. Bye.